Leon pulled up on the crowbar to open the manhole in the dog kennel. According to Bertolucci, they had found a hidden hiding way in the cells. This was the only way out of the station. The parking garage turned out to be a meaningless elevator. There were plenty of squad cars, a few civilian sedans, even a SWAT van, but no power to the shutters that blocked their exit. The shutters were heavy and metallic, which definitely made a withstand to a large vehicle ramming the gates, so prying it open was not an option. Leon and Sherry entered through the door on the opposite side of the garage and eventually came to the arrival holding cells and found a lone reporter hiding away. He was squirrely and had no intention of leaving unless Leon could guarantee his safety on the way out. Leon couldn't guarantee anything of some sort, but the reporter did tell him of an alternative route through the sewers. Leon rolled his eyes, just thinking about the pathetic Bertolucci, probably sitting on the bunk, patiently waiting for the cavalry that would likely never come. Leon tried to radio Jack and Claire, but there was no response. Either way, they had no signal, or something had happened. Leon considered going back for them, but it wasn't just about him anymore. He also had a child with him, and apart from Bertolucci, was the only survivor he had run into since arriving. He couldn't willingly held her back into danger, especially with that monster still lurking in the shadows. Leon slid the manhole cover opening and left it off to the side with the chance that if someone else happened upon it, they would be able to access it easily. "It's going to be a little dark and gross in here, isn't it?" Sherry asked. Leon chuckled a little. "I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be horrible." Sherry shuddered. The dogs in the kennels barked nearby and continued growling, while the pair hovered over the opening. Leon had considered putting them down, but decided against it. It'd be a waste of ammunition on something if that wasn't in immediate danger, and it would just only rile them up. Still, the thought of the canines being trapped in there definitely made him wince. Leon flicked on his flashlight and handed it to Sherry. "Here, you be my eyes. I'll need help on this one." Sherry nodded. She seemed to perk up a little. It was a little surprising that what little purpose did for her. "As soon as I get to the bottom, I want you to follow. If something happens, just jump down and I'll catch you." Leon pulled out his handgun and descended down the ladder. He stepped into the ankle-high water. Sherry followed him into the dark abyss. Leon turned from the ladder and aimed it down the passageway. Sherry lifted the flashlight and aimed the beam dead end ahead. Something that in the dark he skittered away from the light. Sherry felt a lump in her throat. Spiders! Leon holstered his handgun and removed the shotgun from his back, and he held the wood stock against his shoulder and scanned the dark hallway. Nothing on the walls, nothing in the water. Where the hell was it? "Whoa!" Leon cried happily as he lifted the shotgun and squeezed the trigger. The spiders splat into a sludge of green and brown blood. "Oh my God!" Sherry screamed. "I hate spiders." "Sherry, be my eyes and watch the walls and ceiling," Leon yelled. As he led her through the passageways, he could hear the beasts skittering nearby in passageways. "My ears are ringing!" Sherry yelled. "I know it sucks, but we have no choice." Just then her beam caught on another something around the corner. It immediately spit a flying wad of acid saliva right at them. Leon threw his arms across Sherry and stepped backward. The spit flew right past them. Sherry recovered and lit up the creature once again as it rushed for them. Leon pumped the shotgun on and sending fiery chunks of meat and appendages going on multiple directions. "Ew, ew!" Sherry yelled. "You're doing good. Keep it up," Leon yelled. As they took another corner at the end of the passage, they passed by where the spider had crawled before. Sherry, catching small shadows of spider legs, scattered about in the water, the fuzzy, prickly legs brushing past her. Leon pumped the shotgun again as two more massive spiders came into view. These two skipped the acid and rushed down towards them. Leon squeezed the trigger. Somehow he missed. The spread of the shotgun blast missing the pair of arachnids nearby. "Shit!" He pumped the shotgun once more and fired again, without lowering his weapon, and struck the spider center in its fangs, sending the remains flying backwards. The shotgun went dry, clicking at the second spider. Leon pulled his sidearm and pulled out the trigger several times, the 9mm rounds protruding the beast's face. It sagged just before them. Leon let out a long sigh. He could just make out the right ahead at the end of the tunnel. "Leon," Sherry managed to say from behind him. Leon turned to her flashlight, catching the shadows of a large herd of spiders coming right to them from where they came. Without thinking, Leon swooped his arms under Sherry's legs and her upper back and raced her with her in his arms through the tunnel. The skittering grew louder and behind them. As their pursuers screeched in anger, Leon turned at the end of the tunnel and ran for upstairs. He set Sherry down at the valve door and began turning the red valve as fast as he could. The spiders turned at the stairs and were headed right for them. Leon felt the door finally gave and grabbed Sherry's hand, throwing her inside the concrete floor, and threw his shoulder into the door. The door jamb caught a spider leg at the wedge and squeezed it right off as he felt the latch lock home. Leon then turned the valve as quick as he could, sealing him and Sherry in the new environment. Leon pressed his back against the door and let himself sink to the floor. "That was the most terrifying experience of my life," Leon sighed. Sherry laughed and sat beside him. "We made it, though. As long as I don't die from a heart attack." Leon holstered his handgun and dropped the shotgun from his shoulders and began loading the shotgun shells. Sherry took in their surroundings as they sat. It was another concrete hallway, a nice change from the sort of stint through the sewers and the dog kennel. There was another large valve door with the key card scanner. She recognized that it was from her mom and dad's lab. "We're going to need a key card," she said as she got up and walked to the end of the hall. "How did you know that?" Leon said. Sherry juggled whatever she'd be telling anyone about mom and dad. "My dad, he's a scientist for Umbrella. They worked on the lab and scanners like these. Before the station, when we met, you called that thing your dad?" Sherry's eyes welled up with tears. She quickly wiped them away and fought them back. "Something happened to my dad in the lab beneath the police department. My mom said they were attacked by soldiers from Umbrella. I don't know what happened other than that. But either it happened, my mom told me to head to the police station and find help, so I can be safe." "Right, but by the time you got there, the place was overrun," Leon said. "When I got to the station, I hid in the vents. Everyone was so busy, people were running everywhere. They were shooting at these things at the station, so I tried to go back for the lab, but when everyone and everything was infected, those monsters were everywhere. So I hid in the station when I started to see Dad." "Oh my God, Sherry, I'm so sorry." Sherry shrugged. "I don't even know if my mom's okay." Leon nodded. "You said the lab is beneath the station. Maybe there will be a back door through the exit labs. We can look for your mother and escape together." Sherry nodded. "If she'll leave." Leon got up from his seated position. "Sherry, She was gone. "Sherry?" Leon called down to her and ran down the L-shaped hallway. Sherry screamed from a nearby vent as her legs disappeared into the darkness. "Sherry!" Jack had landed onto his feet. His shotgun rattled after him. He was able to catch it as soon as he fell down the chute. He took a deep breath and looked up at the two signs that read, "Arrival Cells," and another one pointed in the opposite direction, "Parking Garage." Finally he had found it. Escape was in sight. Jack unholstered his handgun and raced down the hallway, and he took the next corner sharp. He opened the door and immediately smelled gas and pavement. Jack began looking through the cars and found several with keys. Look like they'll have many choices in their escape vehicles. Claire was still in the station. She had led Mr. X away, but she was still trapped inside the station trying to find her way out. He just couldn't leave. "She would never leave you." "Well, she just kinda did. But I told her to." Jack pulled the slide back at the Springfield and drew in a deep breath. It was time to go back into the fire for him. That was when his eyes got sight of it. A lone black governmental suitcase seated on the passenger seat of the cruiser he was looking in. A shiny metal umbrella logo was fixed on the face of the suitcase. What? Jack reached in and grabbed the case. He recognized these from his time with the company. Looks like it wasn't unlocked or secured. Whoever owned it probably didn't have time to set up access, or multiple persons' reasons were responsible for it. Jack placed his hand on the outer scanner, and the scanner illuminated the bright green light as his eyes clicked open. Jack lifted the case open. He felt himself audibly gasp. 3 vials. Jack immediately recognized what the 2 blue vials were: the T-virus, responsible for the whole mess. The other one was a bright green, the antigen, the cure of sorts. It was the only thing if you could try to get infected, and even then it would be a 50% success rate. The last one was purple. It was shaped like a double helix in the vials. This one must be new. What the hell was he even looking at? Above the 3 vials, the medical injector, shaped like a hand shotgun. The patient could just use it to administer any of the 3 directly into their bloodstream. There was only one Jack could ever recognize, and even then, the antigen was still undergoing clinical trials. Jack removed the antigen and slipped it into his pocket. He left the suitcase out of the car. If he could, he would consider the case to be proof Umbrella was behind everything. It was every evidence he had of searching since he left Umbrella. It was that he was searching for the Spencer's estate ruins before Officer Valentine arrested him. Jack headed for the door at the opposite end of the lead back to the police station. That's when he heard it. Footsteps. Jack spun around and lifted his weapon. There was nothing. No zombies, at least. Someone was following him.